Don't overlook this one-of-a-kind Dutch immigration pathway. If you're a self-employed American entrepreneur searching the internet for how to move to Europe, the Dutch-American Friendship Treaty was built for you. It was designed to be fast and designed to pull people exactly like you and your business into the Netherlands. The startup cost is the lowest in Europe, $4,500, and it doesn't vanish into government fees. It stays in your own bank account, and it's fast. You can enter as a tourist, apply from inside the country, and get initial approval about 2 weeks later. Of course, you can still apply from home as well if you prefer. From that moment, you're legally living and working in The Hague, biking past the tulips on the weekends. There's no language test, no job offer required, and no point system deciding whether or not your business is worthy. And unlike every other European program out there, your spouse isn't left stranded. They actually walk away with more rights than you do, free to take any job in the country that they want. So picture it. A month from now, you're at a cafe in Rotterdam near the canal, invoicing clients in euros. Your kids are in some of the best public schools on earth. Your whole family is on the Dutch healthcare system. 5 years after that, you're eligible for one of the most powerful passports on the planet and the right to live and work anywhere in the European Union. And the wild part, almost nobody is talking about this. While every relocation channel pushes the same crowded Spain and Portugal visas, this one's been sitting in the shadows since 1956. 70 years, a door that the Dutch quietly left open for Americans, and most people have never even heard of it. But that door is not a blank check. The Dutch Immigration Service just launched a crackdown on people already living there, auditing them to prove that their businesses are real, stripping the permit from people who are non-compliant. And the recently debuted fast-track window that makes all this so quick could slam shut any day. The difference between Americans who get in clean and the ones who get sent home or worse, get their permits torn up 2 years in, comes down to a few specific things. Who this was built for, how to stay compliant while the Dutch government hunts for people who are not, and some of the expensive pitfalls that require careful planning to avoid. To see how good this deal is, you have to see what everyone else is settling for across Europe. Take Spain's digital nomad visa, the darling of every relocation channel right now. We've even got a full breakdown of it on our channel ourselves. Now, before Spain even glances at your file, you have to prove 2,800 euros a month. That's almost $35,000 a year, documented and taxed. You need a university degree or 3 years of specific experience in your job area. And your family? In Spain, your spouse adds to your overall liability, as every dependent you have raises the income bar by 1,000 euros for your application. You're not just bringing your family to Spain, you're having to qualify with them, one expensive head at a time. Portugal, even steeper at 3,680 euros per month, which is 4 times their own minimum wage just to get in the door. Then you get to enjoy the AIMA, Portugal's immigration agency, which is currently buried under more than 400,000 backlogged cases. People wait 4, 5, 7 months or more refreshing the government portal like it's a slot machine to see if their application has gone through. It's bureaucratic quicksand. And in May, Portugal doubled the wait for citizenship from 5 years to 10, with no grace period for people who were in the middle of the journey, doubling the time that it required for all visa holders in order to naturalize. Germany's freelance visa is a coin flip. You have to convince a local official that your work serves the German economy, and your odds depend on which city's desk your file lands on. Some people sail through, others get rejected for no clear reason. Compare that to DAFT, the Dutch-American Friendship Treaty. 4,500 euro deposit, but that's not a fee. It sits in your business bank account. There's no income test going in either. The IND never asks you what you earn. You get 90 days initially on your tourist visa. Your residency sticker arrives in your passport about 2 weeks after you make the application, and from that moment, you're legally living and working in Europe. Your business doesn't even have to specifically turn a profit to get approved. As for your spouse, whereas Spain treats them as a tax liability that you pay, the Netherlands gives them more rights than you. They can take any job they want, employed, self-employed, anywhere in the entire country. And this is certainly no great country to be hanging out in. 95% of Dutch people speak English. It's the highest of any non-native country on earth. It's a $57,000 GDP per head as well, and a passport that walks you into the entire European Union should you choose to apply one after you've qualified. The healthcare, the schools, the infrastructure are all among the best on the planet. It's a first world country with an affordable price and a streamlined application process open to exactly one nationality, Americans. So, how does it actually work? The DAFT is an entrepreneur's visa. You own and operate a business, at least 25% of it. You cannot be an employee of anyone, American or Dutch. If you're on someone else's payroll, this isn't your path. But if you run your own thing, any kind of your own thing, the setup is simple. You deposit 4,500 euros into a Dutch business bank account, where it sits for the life of your permit. You register with the KVK, the Dutch Chamber of Commerce, and you apply to the IND for a residence permit as a self-employed person. There's no language requirement, no employer sponsorship required, and no scoring system where a bureaucrat decides if your business is valuable enough to the Dutch economy. That scoring system exists for every other nationality, but Americans skip it entirely because of this treaty. Your first permit runs for 2 years, then renews for 5 as long as your equity never drops below the 4,500 euros and you have been running a real business when you are audited. After 5 straight years, you're eligible for permanent residency or, if you want, Dutch citizenship. Now, right now, a fast-track process is running, and you've got 2 ways to go about it. The first is the in-country route. You fly in on the standard EU 90-day tourist visa. You file your application with the IND, and within a week or 2, you sit for your appointment where they take your biometrics and they put a residence sticker into your passport. From that moment, before your business is even fully set up, you can begin legally living and working in the Netherlands. Your final approval lands in 6 to 8 weeks, establishing you in Europe in under 90 days, blazing fast in a continent known for its bureaucracy. The second route is for people who prefer the paperwork to be in hand before they leave. You can file from the United States before you ever get on a plane, so your application is accepted and moving before you take off. The catch is that you front load the hard part. You need a Dutch business registered and a Dutch bank account holding the 4,500 euros before they'll decide, and setting those up from across the ocean almost always means hiring a representative on the ground. You'll still also have to fly over to give your biometrics and receive the sticker into your passport, since the IND only takes those in person. But you will arrive there knowing that you're approved instead of hoping that you will be. Some people prefer that peace of mind. Early on in both paths, you make one critical decision though: your business structure. It's a ZZP, which is a sole proprietorship, or a BV, a private limited company. Under roughly 67,000 euros in earnings, the ZZP is simpler and cheaper. Above that threshold, the BV unlocks a 30% ruling. It's a tax break that makes the 30% of your salary tax-free for the first 5 years. If you get this wrong on day 1, though, it can cost you tens of thousands over the life of your permit. On paper, this looks almost too easy, and that's exactly where some people do get into trouble. Because let's start with one thing that surprises everyone: the housing. In 2024, the Dutch government passed the Affordable Rent Act, meant to help tenants. Of course, that backfired. It was a rent control scheme, and landlords saw that the rent caps and decided that they wanted to start selling their properties rather than renting them. The free sector rental market, the only one open to you as an expat, collapsed. In Amsterdam, available units fell from 7,000 a quarter to under 2,500, a 60% free fall. The average Amsterdam rent is now over 1,800 euros a month, and you're up against dozens of applicants per listing, most of which who already have permanent Dutch employment contracts. Now, you've got a brand new freelancer status, no Dutch credit history, and a business that's about 2 weeks old. Landlords will look at that and then they'll request 6 to 12 months of rent up front. Immigration firms recommend a liquidity buffer of near 100,000 euros for a safe and comfortable landing. That 4,500 euro deposit is the cover charge in this case. The real cost of this program is surviving the housing market while your business finds its feet. The smart move here is to look past Amsterdam. Rotterdam, Utrecht, The Hague, Eindhoven all have strong infrastructure, lower rents, and less competition. Amsterdam's certainly the dream, but it's rarely the easiest first step in this path. Next, the important business distinction that initiated the recent crackdown on business operations, and that's false self-employment. This is an entrepreneur's visa, and the Dutch mean it literally. If you register a Dutch business, but you really are just doing the same job for one American client, the same hours, the same boss, the same everything, the Dutch tax authorities actually have a word for you. That is Schijnstandingen. Here it is. Let me know in the comments if you can pronounce that. But it translates as false employment. As of January 2025, they're enforcing it hard. The moratorium is over and they are auditing. If you have one client, particularly your former employer, and that client controls how, when, and where you work, you are not a freelancer. You are a disguised employee. They will revoke your permit for that. Your client then will get hit with back taxes, Social Security contributions, and penalties going back up to 5 years. So in order to make this work, you need multiple clients and real autonomy over your work. You have to look and operate like an actual business owner because that's exactly what this visa demands. The newest twist in this program is that since February, the IND has been mailing compliance letters to existing DAFT holders, not just new applicants, people who have lived in the Netherlands for years. They want invoices, contracts, bank statements, tax returns, proof that they've been running a real business the whole time. People who got in 3 years ago thinking that the hard part was behind them are getting a rude awakening. If they can't prove ongoing business activity, their permit is on the chopping blocks. Then there's the tax, everybody's favorite part of anything. And that's where people panic for the wrong reasons. You're an American, so you still have to file with the IRS no matter where you live. Dutch income tax runs about 37% up to 73,000 euros earned per year. And it's nearly 50% for any amount above that. When you stack those two numbers in your head, it sounds like 70% of your money is gone, but it isn't. The United States and the Netherlands have a tax treaty built specifically to stop you from being taxed twice. And the foreign earned income exclusion lets you shield roughly $130,000 of earned income from the US tax. Between the treaty, the exclusion, and foreign tax credits, most people end up paying the higher of the two countries, but not piled on top of each other. None of this is automatic though. You have to qualify and you have to file it correctly. And your business structure changes the entire calculation as well. This is one place where a good cross-border tax professional pays for themselves 10 times over. Talk to one, don't wing any of this. And if you intend to apply for Dutch citizenship after year 5, you do generally need to renounce your United States citizenship unless you have married a Dutch national in the preceding years. And of course, that fast-track process, that's a temporary thing by design. The IND rolled that out in 2024 to push applications through faster, skipping a lot of the documents that they had normally demanded up front and giving applicants the benefit of the doubt. But they kept the right to check everything later. That's the part that people are missing. They sped up the front door, but they quietly staffed the back side of these things. Those February compliance letters are that back door swinging back open for people on this program. So make sure you keep your paperwork in order no matter what you do. When an immigration service speeds up intake and sharpens its enforcement at the same time, the fast lane never stays open long. So here's my read. After years of watching these programs move, the expedited process will likely revert this year. The upfront paperwork will return and the approval timelines will likely double. And it happens right as record numbers of Americans are flooding the system looking for the exact door that you're looking at right now. The easiest version of this program that will ever exist is the one that's running today. Every immigration program I've ever tracked runs the same arc. Discovery, popularity, restriction, then closure. Portugal's golden visa, Italy's citizenship by descent windows, Germany's tightening. The DAFT is moving from the discovery to the popularity phase right now, and this compliance crackdown is the first sign that the restriction phase is incoming. Smart money moves before the crowd shows up. Now you know why you can't wing this. My guide walks you through every step of this, the business structure, the tax strategy, housing compliance, the whole blueprint, so the IND never has a reason to look twice at you. The link is in the description, and if you need a custom plan, that's what I do. I'm Brad with Evolution Expats. I'll see you in our next video.